Hello, my beautiful drone flying friends. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 accessories that I think you should know about. If you're new to this channel, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification. I'm going to share everything I've learned with you about drone flying, tips, tricks, and otherwise. Okay, let's head over and have a look at this first accessory. The first accessory all comes down to batteries and charging. So I've got the Mavic Air and this is what came with it for charging. It comes in and you can see there's one connector at the end. Now these smart charging hubs or connectors, like it relies on having these. And the issue is I've got two batteries. Two batteries means that quite often after a trip, my batteries are both depleted and I can only charge one at a time. Now, what I recommend is that you get yourself a charging hub. A charging hub can do multiple batteries, and also if it's DJI, it is very clever because it will work out what battery needs to be charged first so that you can get in the air quicker. Now that's clever, and it stops all that silly frustration about worrying about getting up out in the air, getting flying quicker. It's perfect. The second accessory that I think you should know about is a sun hood. Now, when you're going out and you're flying, and particularly in Australia where I am, it can be really frustrating when you can just not see the screen for the glare. And so a sun hood just provides a little physical barrier between your screen and the outside, and sometimes you even put your eyes into it like this, and it just means you can see everything clearly from the camera, and it just makes for a much better flying experience. Quite often you need line of sight when you're flying in Australia, and so yeah, a hood means that you can be away from the screen while also checking on where the drone is in real time from where you can spot it. Okay, the third thing that I think you should consider is a good bag. Now, I love this bag, the Everyday Essential Pack, I think from Peak Design. It is fantastic. It has got all of my drone stuff in it. I just love it. There's pockets on pockets. I'll do a proper review on this bag, but I've set up the dividers in a very specific way so that I can get maximum usage from this bag. I absolutely love it. Like I said, top, sides, it's got laptop and stuff. So I've taken this to Europe. I've taken this bag absolutely everywhere, and having a good bag cannot be underestimated. Getting your drone to a place where you are going to fly in a safe, efficient manner with everything you need comfortably, it's like a dream come true. Number 4 is a landing pad. A landing pad is something that can protect your drone while taking off and landing. Now, I think majority of the accidents or near misses that I've had have been when coming into land or when taking off initially. So a landing pad gives you a nice clear area before taking off, so you don't have to worry about loose stones, loose grass, stuff flying up into the propellers. It just protects the most important part of the drone, which are the propellers and the motors. It gives a nice big bright area as well for you to land on. So overall, a landing pad is a fantastic accessory that you should consider buying. They're really, really inexpensive, and yeah, go check it out. Number 5 is neutral density filters. Now, neutral density filters are like sunglasses for your camera. Now, when you send your drone up and you're whizzing around, your camera has to work hard to balance the exposure, make sure it's not too bright. The issue is the way it does that is it makes the aperture smaller and reduces the frame rate, which reduces the shutter speed, which means that you can have issues while trying to capture that perfect photo. Now, if you reduce the amount of getting in to the sensor, it just means that you can have much more freedom with other settings like the ISO and the frame rate and the aperture and all that sort of stuff. So it really does help. The reason they're called neutral density filters is because they remove all of the colors and all of the wavelengths equally. so you don't end up with weird artificial effects. So yes, they're made individually for each type of camera and drone, so make sure you buy ones that screw onto your camera specifically. And the reason that's so important is because you want a good fitting neutral density filter. You don't want it flying off when you're, a few hundred meters up in the sky. Okay, number 6 is all about SD cards. I have a multitude of micro SD cards and normal SD cards. They're everywhere, all over my desk. They're in my reader. And the reason I have so many is because there is nothing more frustrating than going out onto a drone shoot and not having any storage space. The great thing is that the new DJI drones do actually have a little bit of internal memory, so that if you do turn up without a memory card, it's not like you have to cancel the flight or cancel the shoot. It's not very much. I think it's about 8 gigabytes, but that's more than enough for a lot of high definition footage as well. So yes, SD cards, I have them everywhere. I never sort of worry about buying another one. I make sure they're labeled, but grabbing an SD card and making sure that they are everywhere in my bag, in the drone, in the readers, just means I'm never short of an SD card. Number 7 is propeller guards. Now, propeller guards are brilliant because they just give you a peace of mind when you're flying inside or in sort of enclosed spaces. My Mavic Air, I very rarely fly inside, but when I do, I want the propeller guards and I want them to be sort of fail-safe, so if I do accidentally bump into the wall, my drone isn't going to just fall from the sky. The thing is that when you're inside and when you're up against walls, the airflow around the propellers is just so very different. So as you're approaching a wall, we rely on displacement down this way, and if you start getting close to the ceiling, you have to suck air in from the sides, and it can be pretty scary if your drone is starting to lose control. And propeller guards just means that you just kind of like bump around. It's no issue. It doesn't protect from above and below unless you get completely enclosed ones, but they do provide a peace of mind that is invaluable if you're doing something a little bit scary. Number 8 is polarized sunglasses. Now, I have glasses, and even though these look really lame sometimes, I have got polarized clip-ons. Welcome back to the 80s or 90s. These are so great because in Australia, you need to keep your drone in a line of sight, which means that as I'm looking up into the sky, the last thing I want is glare. The last thing I need is sort of glare from any water if I go over the beach, and polarized sunglasses just make it so much nicer to fly my drone in sunny environments. They are a keeper and a winner. Make sure you buy a good pair. Nothing to do with drones, but so very important as an accessory. Okay, number 9 is all about a lanyard. Lanyards can sit around your neck and hold the controller. Now, the DJI Mavic Air that I've got isn't a particularly big controller. Here it is at the back here. It's nice and light. It's got these massive pads. And so, yeah, I've never really needed to have a lanyard. But I know that the Phantom series and some other controllers for other types of drones, they do get pretty heavy. And if you're flying, over a couple of batteries, which can be up to an hour, you can start to have issues with your wrists, and you want to make sure that the piloting experience is just lovely. So if you've got something small, not necessary, but if you're upgrading to the Phantom series, or you're upgrading to another type of drone with a particularly heavy controller, get yourself a lanyard. Let your neck take the strain rather than sort of trying to hold it up, because you want to make sure the piloting experience is perfect for you. Okay, number 10 is all about the car charger. Now, this is something that I've been really sort of reluctant to get, but when I've been out with my drone and I've had no other way of charging, but I want to get another flight in, getting a car charger for your drone battery just means you can get that extra flight in. It's so important if you are doing a lot of filming in like remote places where you can't just pop to a cafe to charge it, or you can't just run and buy a new battery, whatever that is. So using your car as a battery source just means that if you're going to remote places like national parks, like near the beach, it just means that you've got an extra option that you can charge your battery and have an extra half an hour flight. It fits so well in a bag as well. So absolutely no brainer for me. Get yourself a car charger. So there we have it. There are all of my 10 accessories. This video is based on an article on droneflyingpro.com. Go check that out. I've got another 6 that I think you should think about on that article. So go check it out. And happy drone flying, my friends. I shall see you in the next video.